Hello Reds, let's be honest with each other. Waking up on the morning of November 30th before the West Ham match, every one of us had that horrible feeling in our stomachs, a feeling we hadn't known for years. It wasn't just the fear of defeat, it was the fear of the end. 9 defeats in the last 12 matches. Just try to comprehend those numbers. We haven't seen such a horror since the 1953-54 season when Liverpool were relegated to the second division with a bang. After the disgrace against PSV at Anfield, after the 0-3 loss to Nottingham, the air around the club became so toxic that it felt like one spark would be enough for everything to explode. Insiders were shouting, "This is the end." Arne Slot was given an ultimatum: 2 matches, West Ham and Sunderland, either 6 points or a one-way ticket back to Holland. Not just the manager's chair was at stake, but huge compensation and the owner's reputation. And here we are in London, the Olympic Stadium, an opponent mourning their legend, and our manager, who makes a move that could have cost him his career. Fan chats were exploding during the match over one detail, and rightly so. Today we will dissect this match atom by atom. This is LFC Life, let's go! Let's start with what made us hold our heads an hour before the match: the lineup. Arne Slot did something Jurgen Klopp dared to do extremely rarely, and only in cup games. Mohamed Salah on the bench. For the first time in the Premier League since April 2024. Let's stop there. Was this decision steel nerves or a gesture of desperation? Salah has only scored 5 goals this season. He looked tired, sometimes even indifferent. Slot explained it simply: we are playing 4 matches in 10 days. But we understand the subtext, don't we? This was a signal. In a crisis, there are no more sacred cows. If you don't bring the intensity, you sit, even if you are the king of Egypt. Tactically, it also made sense. West Ham's fullbacks play very high. Slot understood. The winger will have to work his socks off defensively. Szoboszlai and Gakpo are ready to do that. A tired Mo? Unlikely. We lined up in a 4-2-3-1 formation. The midfield with McAllister and Gravenberch looked like concrete. Florian Wirtz at the number 10 position. Alexander Isak up front. And the forced, but as it turned out, brilliant substitution: Joe Gomez on the right instead of the injured Bradley and the sold Trent. We'll talk about Trent and his ghost separately. It's a very painful but important topic. But for now, to the game. First half, lads, it was tough to watch. It felt like walking through a minefield. We controlled the ball with over 56% possession, but it was the same sterile domination we've been criticizing the team for in recent months. West Ham, under emotional pressure, their legendary captain Billy Bonds had passed away, came out fighting. They sat in a low block, cut off the oxygen to Isak and said, "Right, try and break us down." But then Florian Wirtz stepped onto the stage. Remember what Gary Neville said after the Manchester City match? That Wirtz looked like a little boy, unprepared for the Premier League? Well, in the first half, this boy ran rings around the Hammers' midfield, 28 accurate passes out of 29. He was the only light in the darkness. It was he who engineered the only dangerous moment of the half: a pass to Gomez, a cross, a knockdown by Gakpo, and a shot by Isak. Areola saved it, but that was a warning sign. We went into the break level at 0-0. And I know what you were writing in the chats. Here we go again. We'll concede a stupid goal now and collapse. Belief was at rock bottom. I know this because I was following the chat in the LFC Live app. If you haven't yet joined the fiery discussions with fans in that chat, the link will be in the video description and pinned comment. But then came the 60th minute, the minute that perhaps saved Arne Slot's job. Let's analyze this goal because it is pure football art and proof that the huge money spent on transfers was not wasted. It all started with Wirtz, with the outside of the foot, through the lines. That's not just technique, it's intelligence. He saw a corridor no one else saw. Gakpo, smart lad, didn't hog the ball but laid it back for the shot. And Alexander Isak, the £125 million man who hadn't scored for 5 matches in a row, who remained silent when he was criticized. With the inside of his foot cold-bloodedly into the corner. 1-0. Do you know what's most interesting about Isak's performance? The statistics. He touched the ball 13 times all match. 13! That is abnormally low. At Newcastle, he conducted the play. He dropped deep. Under Slot, 3 shots, 2 on target, 1 goal. This is the transformation we were waiting for. Slot said after the match that this goal will lift a burden off Isak's shoulders. I hope it lifts a burden off our hearts too, because after that, the team breathed differently. Now, on the topic that is tearing up the comments, the right flank of the defense. Joe Gomez. We often criticize him, but yesterday, Joe was monumental. Look at the numbers: 3 interceptions, 2 clearances, an assist to Gakpo at the end of the match, and the pre-assist pass on the first goal. But that's not the main thing. The main thing is reliability. Our right flank was a fortress. And here, the comparison inevitably arises. Trent Alexander-Arnold, our Scouser who chose Madrid. We know things aren't smooth for him there right now. Whistles at the Bernabeu, mistakes, vandalism on the murals in Liverpool. The match against West Ham showed an interesting thing. Yes, without Trent, we lost creativity and magic in attack, but we gained calm at the back. This was the first clean sheet after we conceded 10 goals in 3 games. Coincidence? I don't think so. Gomez is not Trent. He never will be. But in a crisis, we needed a soldier, not an artist. And Joe carried out the order. The end of the match turned into a drama, but not for us. Lucas Paquetá. What was that? 2 yellow cards in 54 seconds. For arguing. That is a complete breakdown of discipline. While West Ham were crying and arguing with the referees, we were getting on with our job. 92nd minute. Counter-attack. Gomez overlaps again. Who said he can't run forward? Cross. And Gakpo. Cody Gakpo is a story in himself. A goal and an assist. He is the quiet hero of this match. He did all the dirty work for Wirtz and Isak and put a definitive final point on it at the end. 2-0. We exhale. So friends, 2-0. 3 points. We broke that terrible streak, but let's have no illusions. Are we out of the crisis? The honest answer? No, not yet. We beat a West Ham side that did not register a single shot on target. Alisson could have pulled up a chair and read a newspaper. It was a victory against a weak, emotionally burnt-out opponent. Our performance in the first half was still far from ideal. But we saw structural changes. Slot is willing to make tough calls, and Salah benched proves it. The new signings are starting to earn their price tags. Wirtz and Isak finally showed class. The defense can be reliable. The return to a simpler model with Gomez worked. The next match is Sunderland. That is another final. If we drop points there, the win against West Ham won't matter. But today, we can sleep peacefully for the first time in a month. And now the question for you, Reds. Write in the comments. Was Slot right to bench Salah, and is it time for Mo to return to the starting lineup? Who do you want to see at right back? The reliable Gomez or someone else? And do you believe that Wirtz has finally adapted? He'd like if you're happy we finally didn't concede 3 goals. Subscribe to LFC Life, where they tell the truth about our club. You'll never walk alone. See you.